Hello, sincere friends. Hope you are all in good health. So a while ago, I uploaded a video. It was a poem recitation of Abiku by Wole Soyinka. This is not to be confused with a poem by the same name, Abiku by J.P. Clark, John Pepper Clark. Those are two different poems. Abiku Wole Soyinka is from the point of view of Abiku, the child, while Abiku J.P. Clark is from the point of view of the family of Abiku. So Abiku basically is a wanderer child, a spirit child, and it's a folklore of the Yoruba tribe of Nigeria. It's a child that keeps getting born. He's born and dies and keeps getting reborn repeatedly, tormenting the family and the mother. The Igbo type of Nigeria also has a similar folklore, but they call it Ogbanje. There's a book written by a novel by Chinua Achebe, Things Fall Apart. If anyone is interested, you could read that book. There is a child, an Ogbanje child from the Igbo tradition in that book, and the plotline, part of the plotline includes how they, deal with an Ogbanje child. So that's just something I wanted to add in there. Abiku Wole Soyinka has 8 stanzas. And let me just begin. So the first stanza is, in vain your bangles cast, charm circles at my feet, I am Abiku calling for the first and repeated time. So just to begin, to break the cycle of the child being born and dying, there are certain rituals that the family will take part in, trying to bind the child to this world. That's the intent of those rituals. So some of those things that would be used would be like the bangles, trying to form circles around the feet of the child, just rituals. So the first few stanzas talk about some of those rituals. And then, of course, Abiku, in response to those rituals, has this boastful tone, like it's bragging about who he is, putting it out there that all their rituals will not bind him to this world, him or her to this world. So the poem has a boastful tone, a bragging tone from the child. And the next one says, must I weep for goats and cowries, for palm oil and the sprinkled ash? All these things are things that are traditionally used in rituals in the Yoruba tradition, just in rituals in general, African traditions. Yams do not sprout armlets to earth Abiku's limbs. Kind of the same theme. Offering yams, offering palm oil, sprinkled ash, casting circles like spells, all in a bid to keep Abiku bound to this mortal coil. So when the snail is burnt in his shell, wet the heated fragment, brand me. Part of the ritual of Abiku, and this is also drawing from the storyline of Chinua Achebe in Things Fall Apart. Certain metals could be heated in the fire to make a brand on Abiku's skin, or to cut off a part of the ear, something that when the child is reborn, is believed that the body he's reborn in will still bear those marks from the previous body. So it is a way for them to identify that this is the spirit child that is back again to torment the mother. So, and Abiku is boasting, saying when you brand him with those signs and he comes back, you will still know him, you will still identify him, because he will be back despite dying. That really sounds horrible when you think about it. I am the scroll teeth cracked, the riddle of the palm. Remember this and dig me deeper still into the god's swollen foot. So more of the bragging tone, kind of beating his chest about who he is, a riddle that can't be solved. So he just keeps, the cycle cannot be broken despite what you do. And he's admonishing them to dig him deeper into the earth. That's a God's swollen foot when they bury him, because that will be in a bid for him to stay down there, not return. But he's mocking them, saying this is futile. No matter how deep you dig me into the earth, I will still be back. Once and the repeated time, ageless do I puke. So even though he's a baby, he's just reborn. But in terms of the spirit-wise, this is an aged spirit, because he's been born and reborn. He looks young in a baby's body, puking, throwing up, spittle, milk and all that, but he is ageless because he's old. He's been born. The cycle has been, this can occur multiple times, the cycle of the birth and death. And when you pour libations, each finger points me near the way I came. Part of the rituals is pouring drink, wine into the ground. It's like pouring back the portion of the ancestors. That's the traditional belief. And then basically Abiku is mocking the family, doing all these rituals. When you pour the rituals, trying to earth me, each finger pointing me near where I came, I will still go back and the cycle will still be unbroken. The ground is wet with mourning, white dew circles flesh birds. The ground is wet with mourning. I would say that will be tears, because of course, even if it's Abiku, the death of a child is still a sad occurrence. There will still be mourning. Tears will still be shed. And then this is white dew, just like the passing of the mornings, the evenings, life will still go on. Flies in wine froth, like the traditional drink, the traditional wine that is made alcohol. It has froth on top of it, and with the flies about, sometimes it gets caught in the drink. So this is just like the everyday life continuing, even though this tragic happening is going on in the family with the cycle of Abiku being born and dying. Just imagine the mom giving birth to the child, suckling the child, then the child dying, and then coming back again. It's just like a vicious cycle. Night, and Abiku sucks the oil from lamps. Mothers, I'll be the suppliant snake, called on the doorstep, yours the killing cry. Of course, it's like Abiku just, he just sucks and sucks. There's no gift to him. There's no joy in, having a child in the family that everyone can be happy and proud of. It's just an ominous feeling the child brings. And the snake there doesn't bode good news. Of course, anybody that sees a snake around, that is not a good omen. That is not good news. It just brings more bad news. And Abiku is likened to the snake. He likens himself actually to the snake called on the doorstep. So you just know bad things are around the corner. Bad things will come. Bad things will occur. Yours the killing cry. So of course, the cry that is raised after a child is dead, the cry that is raised when you see a snake, those two things have been likened in this stanza. The ripest fruit was saddest. Where I crept, the warmth was clawing. In silence of webs, Abiku moans, shaping mounds from the yoke. The ripest fruit, that could be likened to the pregnancy, even though the mother is heavy with another pregnancy, but it's still ominous, because though she wants to have a child, but she's unsure whether this would be a child that will be here to stay, or this will be Abiku back again, yet torment her and the family. So even while he's being formed in the womb, in the warmth, he's already shaping how his birth will result in death. Mounds here are likened to the grave, the mounds that are made on graves, and yolks are likened to new beginnings, like the egg, the chick. So even while he's being born, he's already plotting his demise. So that was my analysis in response to the request I got for a line-by-line explanation in the initial poem posting that I did. Any misrepresentation is my fault. I don't claim to be an expert. I would suggest for educational purposes, if you need to do an online research for analysis, so you get a thorough analysis from an educational point of view. Anyone also interested can look up Abiku by John Pepper Clark just to compare and contrast the points of view. I may also do something about the Abiku by John Pepper Clark just to post to upload a comparison. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it in the comment section and I'll try to get to them. And thank you very much for listening to me. If you have subscribed, thank you very much for being a subscriber. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. I would appreciate that. Thank you, and I'll catch up with you later. Bye.